Right now, as you watch this video, missiles are in the air to assault Iran. Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei is no more.
We are getting information from Israeli sources that the Ayatollah is dead.
Ali Khamenei, Iran's anti-Western supreme leader who dominated the Islamic Republic for more than 3 decades, has died at 86.
Tonight, Donald Trump says Iran's supreme leader is dead.
President Trump has confirmed Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead.
Oil prices shot above $100 a barrel. The world is watching and asking who started it, who is to blame, who should pay, but there is a group of people who are not asking any of those questions. They are watching their portfolios.
A single Javelin missile used by Ukraine costs $178,000. Since February 2022, the United States sent over 10,000 of them to Ukraine. That is $1.78 billion, from one weapon, one war, one contract.
The same month Russia attacked, Raytheon's stock hit an all-time high. Who owns Raytheon? Who owns all these companies whose stocks price are going up during wartime?
The answer is BlackRock, Vanguard, the same two names sitting at the top of every major defense contractor simultaneously, every war, every conflict, every body count for the last 200 years.
Iran, Ukraine, Iraq, Vietnam, World War II, World War I, the war changes, the missiles change, the countries change, the names on the contracts never do.
By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how a small group of families and firms turned war into the most reliable business model in human history. Not by starting conflicts, they are too smart for that. They simply make sure that whatever happens, whoever wins, whoever loses, whoever bleeds, they get paid. From the first bullet to the last brick laid, and this will be the audit of all these behind-the-scenes companies.
August 1914, Europe goes to war. Within weeks, Britain and France have one problem. They need weapon, ammunition, and steel, millions of it, tons of it, and fast. At that time, there was only one institution in America capable of moving that kind of money at that speed, JP Morgan & Co. They becomes the sole purchasing agent for both Britain and France. One firm, both sides of the same alliance. Over $3 billion in war materials flow through their hands. Their commission, just 1%, but that was $30 million at a time when the average American earned less than $1,000 a year. But here is what history books leave out. Morgan purchased control of 25 American newspapers and installed editors who focused on militarism, the threat of foreign attack, and the necessity of war. Along with them, the DuPont family also supplied 40% of all Allied explosives during the war. Their profits also went from $6 million to $82 million in 4 years.
They convinced people through the media, then they financed the conflict, they did not back the Allies, they backed the war, and most importantly, their profit.
This is the part of history that almost nobody teaches. While Allied soldiers were dying, some of the most powerful American businessmen were doing business. This is not suspicion, this is documented in the National Archives and confirmed by the US government itself. Prescott Bush, banker, senator, and the grandfather of President George W. Bush. During World War II, Prescott Bush was running a bank in New York called the Union Banking Corporation. That bank was secretly moving money for Germany's most important financial backer, a German industrialist named Fritz Thyssen. Thyssen owned the steel factories that built the Germans' war machine, his mills produced the tanks, his furnaces made the ammunition, and his money was one of the primary reasons German dictator rose to power in the first place. The grandfather of an American president was the American banker for the man who funded Germans. On October 20, 1942, the US government found out, under the Trading with the Enemy Act, they seized the assets of Union Banking Corporation. No trial, no charges, no prison, the government quietly buried it, afraid that prosecuting one of Wall Street's most connected men would destroy public morale during wartime.
The assets were held, then returned after the war ended. The Nazi money became a nest egg. That very nest egg funded a political career, the political career that built a dynasty that produced 2 presidents of the United States.
The Krupp family was the armorers of the entire German war machine, saw their successor Alfred Krupp convicted at Nuremberg. He served 3 years, then walked free and reclaimed the entire empire. They were not Germans, they were businessmen, and that is what makes it worse.
The template was now set. Finance the war, supply the weapons, walk away clean. Vietnam added a new layer, the chemical layer. Dow Chemical manufactured napalm. The burning gel dropped on Vietnamese villages and simultaneously produced Agent Orange.
Agent Orange is a herbicide that poisoned millions of acres of land and hundreds of thousands of bodies in Vietnam. Communities in Vietnam are still being born with birth defects from Agent Orange today, more than 50 years later. But the deeper story is not just about weapons. It is about the revolving door and the mechanism that made all of it permanent. The system where the same individuals move between corporate boardrooms, government offices, and international financial institutions, carrying the same interests with them every time they walk through a new door. Robert McNamara is the clearest example of this. He was the CEO of Ford Motor Company, one of the largest defense suppliers in America. Then he became Secretary of Defense under Presidents Kennedy and Johnson. He designed the Vietnam War strategy from inside the White House. Then, when the war ended, he became president of the World Bank, the institution that decided which destroyed countries will be rebuilt and how much money to provide them. One man, three institutions: corporate power feeding, government power feeding, and finally international financial power feeding. The same individual, serving the same interests across three different titles. But McNamara was not alone in this system. David Rockefeller ran Chase Manhattan Bank throughout the Vietnam era. His bank financed the defense contractors building the weapons, also financed the corporations rebuilding the damage, gaining profit from both sides. And when questions arose about the morality of profiting from the war, the Rockefeller family pointed to their universities, their hospitals, and their arts foundations.
One hand wrote the check to the weapons factory, the other hand cut the ribbon at the new hospital, and the cameras only ever showed you the ribbon. Charity is the mask, the war contract is the money.
Now we come to the single most explosive documented fact in this entire video, September 11th, 2001. While Al-Qaeda's planes were hitting the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, a private investor conference was taking place at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Washington, D.C. The host, the Carlyle Group, one of the most powerful private equity firms in the world, with deep ties to the defense industry.
One of the attendees that morning was Shafiq bin Laden, half-brother of Osama, representing the bin Laden family's investment in Carlyle-managed funds.
Also in that room was George Bush and James Baker, and member of Al-Qaeda, together in one investment meeting. The Bush family and the bin Laden family invested in the same defense fund in the same room on the same morning. Within weeks, the bin Laden family quietly liquidated their Carlyle holdings. While every American flight was grounded, the White House authorized planes collected 140 Saudi nationals, including 24 members of the bin Laden family, and fly them home. Every American was grounded, the bin Ladens flew, the attack happened, the Carlyle Group's defense portfolio doubled.
If you want to understand war profiteering at its most brazen, you only need one name: Dick Cheney, CEO of Halliburton from 1995 to 2000, then Vice President of the United States, also one of the primary architects of the Iraq War.
Halliburton received $39.5 billion in Iraq-related contracts over the following decade, many of them awarded with zero competition, no bidding, no other companies allowed to quote. One contract alone, worth $7 billion, was awarded to Halliburton as the only company permitted to bid. Cheney publicly insisted he had severed all financial ties to his former employer, but he was still receiving deferred compensation payments from Halliburton while sitting in the White House and approving the contracts that paid them.
Halliburton built the war, Halliburton rebuilt the country, the same company on both ends of the destruction. They did not just profit from the war, they built the war to profit from it.
February 24, 2022, Russia invades Ukraine. That same day, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, and Buy Systems all surged on the stock market. Before a single major battle had been fought, the market did not react with fear, it reacted with opportunity. 9 months into the war, BlackRock signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ukrainian Ministry of Economy to design the investment framework for Ukraine's post-war reconstruction. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager. The company holding top ownership positions in every major US defense contractor had already signed the rebuilding deal while the war was still active. Rothschild & Co. was appointed as financial advisor to the Ukrainian government for asset management during wartime. Peter Thiel's Palantir received $91 million in AI targeting contracts for Ukrainian military operations. Elon Musk's Starlink collected over $80 million in Pentagon contracts. He made a private business using his satellite network to run the war. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink later joined as a prosperity advisor on Ukraine's economy. The target figure for post-war foreign investment, $800 billion. They are already signing reconstruction deals, technology deal, while soldiers are still dying.
And right now, as you watch this, the same system is running war in real time. The Israel-Gaza conflict that began in October 2023 immediately triggered record amount of US military aid packages to Israel.
Every package was bringing direct revenue for Lockheed Martin, L3Harris, and General Dynamics. As tensions escalated toward Iran through 2024 and into 2025, defense stocks surged again. Northrop Grumman up 5%, RTX up 4.5%, Lockheed up 3.4%. These prices did not went after any resolution. These increase of prices happened while people were dying. The iShares US Aerospace and Defense ETF gained 35% across this period, Lockheed and Northrop individually up 40% and 46%. Many stocks delivering 50 to 100% returns. Here is where it gets criminal in plain sight. Disclosures required under the Stock Act revealed dozens of purchases in aerospace and defense stocks throughout 2025 by members of Congress. The people who vote on war funding, buying stock in the companies paid by that funding before the votes were cast. From 2020 to 2024, $771 billion in Pentagon contracts went to just 5 firms: Lockheed Martin, RTX, Boeing, General Dynamics, and Northrop Grumman. On the other hand, the entire US budget for diplomacy, development, and preventing wars was $356 billion, which is less than half that went for war. America spending more than double on 5 weapons companies than on stopping conflicts entirely. The missile leaves, the stock rises, the dividend gets paid every single time. The war changes, the geography changes, the body count changes, the names on the contracts never do. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is written in National Archives documents, SEC filings, government seizure orders, Pentagon contract records. They do not start wars. They do not need to. They simply make sure that whatever happens, they get paid from the first bullet to the last brick laid. They profit from the destruction. They profit from the reconstruction, and the cycle resets. And the question that should keep you awake tonight, which I want your answer to in the comments right now, is this. Will this profitable business ever stop, or the war will keep going around the world? Tell me what you think, because I am reading every single one.